Yes, sir. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. Man, I've been fortunate enough to have players, coaches, baseball brands on here that have influenced my career and kind of put a positive spin on baseball. And today is no different. I am joined by ex-Major League center fielder, pitcher, and overall just great human being, awesome athlete, James Jones. JJ, what is going on, brother? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Blessed to be on the show with you, man. Finally circled back.
Dude, man, it is a pleasure to have you here, man. It's awesome to have you here. Obviously, your story is extremely unique. So here on the Nine Hole Podcast, man, I just try to give insight, information to the next generation of nine hole hitters, just kind of stuff, tidbits, insight, unique experiences that I wish I had when I was their age, when I was in their position. Obviously, dude, I was a walk-on in college at Wagner College. You have experience out that way. You grinded through the Northeast, right? You were a pitcher and an outfielder at LIU Brooklyn. We'll touch on that a little bit. You grinded through the minor leagues. You made it to the big leagues, dude. So I just wanted to ask you some questions about your journey, about your story, and kind of just, peel back the cover a little bit. Show these guys, show these young men that, dude, you don't have to be a first rounder, right? You don't have to be an SEC, 6'8", throwing 105, right? Kind of type of dude, and have every opportunity thrown at you to, make it to where you're going, dude. Does that sound cool? Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that, man. I'm with it.
I love it, brother. So you obviously are from the New York area, right? Reading some stuff about, pretty close to home, right? You ended up at LIU Brooklyn, dude. Can you walk me through that a little bit? How'd you get there, man? What was high school like for you, dude? What was the whole baseball grind like for you before you got to LIU Brooklyn?
I mean, I started out at a school right near the Brooklyn Bridge, the Weston House. I know it sounds weird, but I end up quitting that team after a couple of games.
Really?
It wasn't a good experience. Just the whole format. Once I heard that he wanted me to pitch every other game, I was kind of like, this ain't softball.
Whoa.
so those are red flags for me. After that, I transferred my sophomore year to telecommunications out there in Bay Ridge. And that's when baseball was a lot more fun, playing the high school baseball. We didn't play as many games as California and Arizona. We had a 16-game schedule. Literally. So it was a quick season. And, year by year, you hear guys going to the big schools. A couple guys went to a couple private schools to get drafted out of high school. I didn't know anything about it. Luckily, I had a circle where I got to see Dylan Betances, Pedro Beato, with our travel ball team get drafted. And that's when I felt like that planted a seed. I was like, dang, man, I see the kind of work they're doing. I was like, I could do that kind of work. And I was just like, man, I want to grind and be able to get drafted. But I had no idea what was going on. But leading to that, man, going back to the college question, I wanted to go to the big school. And at first I wanted to go away. And then I was like, the biggest school in New York was St. John's at the time. They used to have a really good baseball program. I remember hitting them up and it was like, hey, man, got no scholarship money, but you come on as a walk-on. And I'm like, man, walk-on, private school, I saw that tuition. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to handle this.
That's right.
But it wasn't until I met Craig Noto.
He's the Wagner head coach right now.
Yes. And he asked me if there's any schools talking to me. At the time, it was like a little buzz with Stony Brook. Nothing crazy, but the interest that Noto had with me was different. I felt wanted. Felt like he had his best intentions for me, and I'm super thankful to this day that he did that. But I committed to them early and went on about my way to LIU Brooklyn.
Dude, that's fantastic. So when you were in high school, obviously I know you transitioned maybe to another school. I have a specific question for you from somebody in my audience. So I obviously put up on my Instagram, dude, I'm going to be having James Jones on here. I had a specific question from a left-handed pitcher who is 15, who is a bigger guy. He's 6'5" as a 15-year-old sophomore. Dude, so what came first for you when you were right around that age? So before you got to college, obviously, you're a big-time athlete, right? You can play the outfield wherever, but you're also pitching. So what came first for you when you were pitching at that age? Was it the velo? Was it the command? And how did that come about?
The velo came late.
Really?
Yeah, the velo came late. Leaving telecommunications, maybe top 85.
Really?
Around there. It was more command. I had a pretty good changeup and curveball at the time. Just to let y'all know, I went into college my freshman year like 155. I was 6'2", 155. Noto used to make fun of me. That was the thing. Like, it was like, man, you need to eat. And I'm like, I do eat.
Were you focused on, okay, so the velo came later. So he specifically, his name's Jack, dude. He wanted me to ask you, like, he is not specifically lifting heavy weight, right? He's still developing. He's focusing on, some lower weight, but he is also, stretching. He wants the flexibility and stuff. Did that play a big part kind of into your game as you kept maturing, but specifically, when you were young?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's even at now with the game. I kind of went off and started lifting weight like a bodybuilder, and
Okay.
that caused a lot of problems, which I would not advise.
I get it.
But the mobility and the body awareness, I mean, that's the major key. Strengthening the shoulder, the rotator cuff, keeping the forearms and the grip strength up. They have programs out there that I love now, like with armcare.com with the crossover symmetry. What's cool is they take the guessing out. You have the device to test your strength, internal, external rotation. It runs you through the whole app. And what you do is it builds it up. And you would test your strength after you finish throwing to see where it's declined. So I picked that up late in my career, literally like after TJ.
Okay.
And it's a game changer. It's a lot of things that I just say wasn't necessary. Looking good in front of the mirror does not translate on the baseball field.
Dude, okay. That's big too, especially if you are throwing a ball for a living, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I 100% get that. So you make your way to LIU Brooklyn, and
Yeah.
obviously, like, you are growing still. You said you came in, you're 155 pounds. Dude, do you have any inclination? Obviously, you got drafted as an outfielder. Man, you're still pitching though. Do you have any inclination, like, at this point, are you like, dude, I can maybe see myself going to the league as a pitcher, or more of an outfielder? Like, when did that start coming into play, dude? What was that process like?
It was honestly, freshman year was a pretty good year. It was all right year. Sophomore year was okay. It wasn't until Craig Noto and Don Maines, the head coach at the time, recommended I go to the Summer League, the Northwoods League. And I've never been away from home. Now on my own, not for that extended period of time. Their big motto at the time was, I think it was, I want to say 60 games in 64 days or something like that. So I just looked past that. I would just play every day. But the thing is, I'm like, in college, you're playing 4 games a week. You got all these off days. It was different. It gave me a taste of pro ball before I even got to it. But after that, that's when I saw like the velo jump, playing against really good competition. I'm in my first game there. I think I had the hat trick, man. I struck out 3 times. Guys are throwing like low 90s, mid 90s EV. It was literally, I was like, I don't know if I could do this.
Dude, I get it. Coming from the Northeast, like, you don't see velo like that. Nowadays, it's a little different, right? But dude, back then.
No, it was crazy. And, getting my feet wet with that. And then as the summer went on, started getting into the routine of it, was still hitting. But pitching, man, I don't know what happened. I mean, I feel like it's just all the work I've done in the past that finally started to show fruit. Start throwing really hard, man. I was like 3 to 5, touching some sixes, and I was coming out the bullpen like as the eighth inning guy to the closer, and that's when the buzz started coming along with, hey, like, you're ranked this and you're ranked that, and that brings a whole different element, especially if you wasn't ready for that type of buzz to be coming on about you.
Dude, 100%. You get different eyes on you at a different location,
Oh yeah,
right? You kind of, the way that I try to explain it, to my audience, to the next generation, it's like, dude, when you up and leave and you leave your comfort zone, you go into maybe an area that is unknown, whether it's across the country. Dude, I got seen in Alaska. I wasn't going to get seen at Wagner College, right? With a 20 and 40 record. You know what I mean? I went to Alaska with wood bats where dudes are from the Pac-12, SEC, whatever type of reputation I had maybe in the Northeast in Staten Island of a dude that can just run, can't really get the ball out of the infield. You go do that in a wood bat league right across the country with different scouts. They're like, dude, maybe we can find some use for that guy.
yeah,
Dude, so you get some buzz created around you. Obviously, you're throwing mid-nines from the left, bro, and you're putting up solid numbers in a top collegiate wood bat league. Going into the draft year, are you nervous? I mean, obviously, dude, you were the number one ranked prospect in New York and number 30 at the collegiate level going in there. You end up getting taken in the 4th round, which is huge, man, big time, especially from the Northeast Conference, dude. Were you nervous at all going in there? Was that playing in the back of your mind? Obviously, as you grind through the minor leagues, that starts creeping in. Dude, I'm getting close. Like, is it obviously, how'd you deal with that?
Man, to be honest, it was nerve-wracking. I won't say like, I was cool, calm, and collected. The environment, especially at LIU, I feel this. I mean, you've been there, small, the LIU Brooklyn field. They had scouts behind
home plate,
the catcher
underneath, right?
And literally, the backstop behind the catcher is no more than 5 feet away. It's a chain link fence. So like you see a group of 15, 20 scouts all raising the gun every time they throw up, and it's just like, man, you know what? Like my focus, it got off track where I just wanted to light the gun up rather than compete against the guys in the box.
Love it.
It's funny because that my junior year was my worst pitching year, but I knew no one was really looking at me as an outfielder at the time, and that was my best offensive year.
Funny how that works, huh?
So it was like, it was nuts, man. I mean, going into pro workouts, I just threw a bullpen and left. And then Seattle was the only one where they're like, hey, we don't want to see you throw a bullpen. Kind of seeing what you had there. We want to see you hit. And I was like, ooh, really? All right.
Let's go.
Oh, let's do this. But yeah, man, it's definitely nerve-wracking. I would recommend anyone that has a little buzz about them just having a circle that they could actually express how they're feeling. At the time, I didn't have no one to really hold my hand through it. It was just more of like, man, how you doing out there? How's the game? And, Noto, he did a good job. Like, hey, man, you got to stay focused. Like, he was on me. My strength coach was on me. But having a group of people where you can be transparent and be like, hey, man, I'm freaking out. Being able to have that kind of circle is big.
Big time, man. I love it, dude. So you get drafted 4th round by the Mariners, dude, 2009. As an outfielder, as a center fielder, man, you then are just propelled into the minor league life. And regardless of how you prepare, regardless of what you know, like, dude, it is a different animal. Obviously, the game has changed a little bit. You can start making a little bit of money in the minor leagues. But, dude, back when we were grinding through the minor leagues, it's like whatever you got is your signing bonus. Like you better stack those chips and hoard that for a little bit, because you're going to have to get through the next 4 to 7 years, depending on what your status is, to get you through everything, dude. So what was that transition like, from LIU Brooklyn, being a hometown hero, dude, making stuff happen in your home state, and then being like thrust into the minor leagues?
Dude, it's different, man. You go from being like, oh, you're the best guy, to like, oh, here's another top dude in his state. Here's another top dude on his team. Here's your first rounder over here. It was different, man. And it's funny because, like, at the time, if you would have told me, all right, who's the first rounder, I wouldn't have been able to tell.
Oh,
Because I was just like, I mean, this guy's still 95. This guy, every swinging BP is over the hitter's eye. I'm like, oh, that's the first round. It's like, oh no, he's 30th round. Oh no, he's
yeah, he's a
at the
nobody.
time, it was like he's like, yeah, he's not even on the top prospect list. I'm like, that dude looks great.
I love that, man.
But it was different, man. I I felt like the Northwoods League prepared me for that. The amount of games, but man, like the intensity of the games it was way up a notch.
Yeah.
In college, that college summer league, it feels like you're just out with your boys playing in the summer league, small towns, and then you go out there and it's different. You get to know what a farm director is. I'm like, there's hey, the farm director's coming into town. I'm like, what's that? They said, you need to shave that off, man. Like, make sure that collar shirt is going. So it's just like, at the time, it was just, man, it's definitely different, and especially with like, like dealing with food and it was I don't know how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I ate, man.
Dude, I get it. I get it. You hear those stories, bro. It's like, you got to be a cheap date, man. My first year in pro ball, I went from being a dude at Wagner College, right? Getting drafted, right? I was the best one, like around, and then you are a big fish in a big pond, right? You come from a small pond, right? You are the fish in that pond, and then you kind of just like blend in, you fit in. You have to re-separate yourself, dude. I remember going to Pulaski, Virginia, right, in rookie ball, dude. And we had 4 dudes to a hotel room with 2 double beds, and I was one of the lucky ones that slept on an air mattress, dude, on the floor. So like that was news to me. Obviously, like the grinding, the travel, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We touched on what the meal money and the pay is like, dude. Obviously, you're playing for the love of the game at that point. Dude, kids that are in middle school want to make their varsity team, or are in high school on their varsity team. They want to play Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, JUCO. They want to play at the next level. Kids that are in, college that want to get drafted, dude. What don't they know maybe about the minor league life, dude? Like, what can you maybe open their eyes to, or maybe just give them something where it's like, they might be able to be like, oh, dude, that maybe puts it into perspective a little bit more. Is there something that you could, throw in there that maybe they're not 100% like ready for, like the pitching, dude? You got to be ready to go on shorter rest, especially out of the bullpen, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, one of the craziest things I heard, and I was like, it's so simple, is the best guys are the available guys. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, man, just being available, injury free. And I'm like, when it comes down to it, everyone's going to feel great in the beginning of the season. Usually you feel like you're at your strongest. But if you could figure out what it is that will fill that tank back up where you're recovered for the next day, and that's key. And it's like, we hear it all the time, but like little things of like staying hydrated, actually getting your sleep. I mean, in college at the time, I was a big gamer, and me and my boys would be in the lobby playing Call of Duty. Before you know it, it's 4 a.m. Now try to mix in 8 hours of sleep. It's noon. You already missed out on breakfast and maybe a snack. Now you probably eating some chips, trying to get something in. Oh, guess what? The game it's 100 degrees outside. You got just chips in your system, and it's just, I think a lot of the little things outside the field, man, to be able to feel as good as you can and actually be honest with yourself. Like, did I do the best I could to feel as great as I can today? I mean, if you could honestly say yes, the more yeses you have in a month, you're probably going to be available.
I love that. Dude,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's a good one right there, brother. I wrote that down. I didn't really understand the importance of sleep until you are in a full season team and you are playing 142 games in 160 something days, right? Something like that, 170 days. So it's like hydration, dude, getting the sleep, the downtime, right? Putting your feet up after a double header, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that, man. That's actually, I didn't even think about that. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that, man. Um,
And the thing is too, like, just to add on to that, is like everyone's different, man. Like everyone know what's mentally draining to them too. Everyone knows what's physically draining. Be aware of the things that drain you, and be aware of the things that actually like energize you. Some people like being around other people
mm,
that energize them. Some people like, hey, I need to just get away from y'all. let me
100
just let me just read. Let me listen to my music. Know what it is that energizes you. Be aware of those things, and like, all right, that's what I need to do.
Dude, man, I love it. I was more of like the low key type of dude. So it's like when I wasn't at the field, I like to be in my room, right with the light off, playing video games, watching something, right?
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah,
dude, I was fortunate enough in 2018 to play with Jason Worth, legend, right? World Series champ, dude, Philly legend, Nationals, dude, all that stuff. It's like I asked him, man, what was the key to your longevity? Obviously, you are your own player, you're your own dude. Like, what was your thing? And he said, dude, after every game, I would have to go out and not like go out party, but I'd have to go out and be around friends. I'd have to go to a dinner, right? I'd have to go to a movie or something. Like I'd have to go out. That's what was like, that's how I was able to kind of regenerate all that energy. I'm like, okay,
hmm
obviously I'm not like you, right? In order for me to kind of, get my HP back, however you will. It's a video game nerd reference, but
I feel you.
yeah, it was very much so like chilling out and taking it easy, man. So that is fantastic, dude. I love that. So you grind through the minor leagues. Obviously, you have to put up solid seasons and show potential, show talent, and do your job in order to keep moving forward. You do just that, brother. You get to the big leagues, dude. Uh, 2014, dude, you get a fantastic chance up there, and you make the most of it. You kill it. Before I get ahead of myself, I wanted to ask you, man, did you have a cool call up story, dude? Like me, I didn't. I did not. So you came up, you got drafted, and you came up with the Mariners.
Yeah.
You might have those relationships with certain guys or managers or, front office people. Did you have a cool call up story? Was it, you can make a movie about it?
I mean, I'm gonna be vulnerable right now. Man, I was actually using the bathroom at the time.
No,
And
no way.
I get a call from the manager. He's just like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "In the bathroom, man." He's just like, "Okay, okay. I need you to come get your bags. Yeah, you're going to the big leagues."
Let's go.
And like literally, like I felt like everything just was on mute. I know he was saying something else, but I was just literally sitting there like, "Man, I gotta go."
You finish up real quick, bro.
For sure. But I remember just getting it's like, hey, we got your flight. You're actually gonna be there tonight. Club, you already packed your stuff. It's literally gonna be get in the parking lot, grab your stuff, and we're gonna head you to the airport. And dude, it was so fast. It
Oh,
was so fast. I was literally playing in Tacoma, and then that night, the night before, and then that night, I'm in Miami, and I'm like, this is crazy.
oh, how, dude. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Especially like your first experience in the show, like at a place like Miami. I know that things have changed since maybe then they got,
Mhm.
new ballpark, all that stuff, dude. But that is absolutely amazing. So in 2014, dude, you play in 108 games in the show for the Seattle Mariners, dude. You hit 250 and swipe 27 bags in 28 attempts, dude. So you are a, multiple position, just top tier athlete out of a small Northeast school, and you end up getting a 108 game opportunity in the show, and you hit 250, which is absolutely elite, and you steal 27 bags. You get caught stealing one time, dude. What was that like? And did you know that, dude, regardless of how you want to say the average looks, to hit 250 in practically a full season in the big leagues is, I mean, fucking elite, bro. Were you aware of kind of the success you were having? And dude, I mean, did it hit you like, whoa, I'm able to like do this in the big leagues right now? This is mind blowing.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like when you just get around a bunch of dudes that are really good at their craft, I mean, it just forces you to. It just brings your game up too.
Elevate.
It just brings it up. Like my routine got better. how I prepared for the game back better. With the stolen bases, that was the most efficient I ever was, even in the minor leagues.
How?
Chris Woodward, man, he challenged me big time. And he asked me like, "Hey, what are you looking for when you stealing?" I'm like, "His heel, just heel
That's how
goes
you're
up,
taught.
I'm gone." And he's just like, "No, no." So everyone has a cue. Everyone has something. And if not, we could figure it out. And if not, we could steal it off the catcher. If we can't find that on the pitcher, we get on the catcher. And I'm just like, wait, what are you talking about? And it got to the point, man, like we would go into the video room, it would be split screen, home plate, pickoff moves. And we would go frame by frame to see what was different. It got to the point I wasn't even stealing off of people's like their back heel. It was when the shoulders stay high, he's picking. But when he takes that breath, he's going home. So now my cue isn't looking at his heel. I'm actually looking at his shoulders. And it's just like, one, I'm gone. And it took a lot for me to fully trust it. Because the first time I did it is, in the back of your head, it's like, got kind of lucky, man.
You don't want to make a mistake.
He could have picked right there. And then when you see it, it's just like, wow. And then what blew my mind was even like, he's like, hey, I got nothing on this pitcher, but that catcher. And he's like, look how he sets up. Left, right, sit, fastball. Left, right, sit, fastball, sit, split, or off speed. And he's like, it's different things the catcher does to prepare for a pitch. So he was like, when you're on deck, when those guys is warming up, like, look at the catcher too. Like, what's going on? I'm like, man, the detail, it was through the roof. So I was just like, I ran with it. And, man, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. Obviously, like being a student of the game, you hear that all the time. Attention to detail. What are you doing in between innings when they're warming up, bro? The year that I actually took that serious, man. Like now, granted, this was also the year that I was like fully diagnosed with ADHD, right? So I went through like the minor leagues having ADHD, but was never on medication. And then I took the test, dude. I took the test. I was like, dude, I actually, you know what, man, I can't focus. Here are my like, I was actually diagnosed with ADHD when I was like pretty young. I just, my family was adamant about not getting me medicated early. I went through the whole like psychological test, bro. That whatever it unlocks.
How long is that test?
Oh, brother, it was like 2 days of 2 days of I think it was like 6 hours a day, and like I can say this. It's not like the secrets are. It's not a secret. It's like, dude, they put you through like children's tests, right? You have to just elementary stuff to see kind of how you react, how you're able to like lock in. And dude, you're laser focused up front, and then dude, as the day wears on, it's just you get broken down. And all I'll never like forget this, bro. They put you in a wheelie chair and a chair that rotates, and dude, it really comes down to like, can you sit still? And I didn't know that until afterwards, bro. I didn't know that until afterwards. And they're like, dude, a telltale sign is like how you move in your chair, right? So like ADD and ADHD are different. I think there is a higher percent of people that have ADD as opposed to ADHD. And my telltale sign was like, I can't sit still, dude. So that's crazy. But when we addressed that, I was able to actually like not goof around, right? Be able to focus on the task at hand, start playing the game within the game. I started like picking up stuff like that. Like, oh, dude, we're minor league spring training, and that farm director or Jerry DePoto is there behind the cage watching people, and I'm watching this pitcher that throws 100, not throwing anything other than a fastball, like in warm up. So like, what? Okay, he's not going to be throwing an off speed pitch to me like here in this game. So and I get up there. This is just like an instance that I remember off a dude that played in the big leagues, hit a home run off him, dude throwing 100 miles an hour. That I have no business doing that. But like I paid attention to what he's doing in warmups, you know what I mean? And like obviously the technology in the big leagues, that's crazy. So having those telltale signs, dude, it's unbelievable, man. That's fantastic. And the being a student of the game, I absolutely love it, dude. So 2014, man, you made Mariners history, right? Along with Edgar Martinez, you and him, you have hits in your first 10 starts, first 13 for you. Just to add to that 2014, you have 2015, bro. You get traded to the Rangers for some names, right? So
Yeah.
I believe Kivlahan Wilhelmsen was in that trade, dude, the bartender. Um, Man, what was that process like, brother? Being traded and having to just like uproot what you know where you know it, and move locker rooms, move over to a somewhere else, dude. What's that like starting over?
Man, it was weird. Actually, I got traded while I was playing winter ball in Venezuela, and our strength coach, remember Mendoza?
Yes, yes.
He was out there with us, and he's like, "Hey man, you check your phone?" And I'm like, "No, for what?" I was like, "I don't have the service out here. If we have Wi-Fi, I could check it, but I'm
That's
not
right.
trying to, like, I'm not
No
trying to get
roaming
a
out there,
data
brother.
plan."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, you should really check your phone." I'm like, "Right now? I'm about to warm up." He's like, "Check your phone." It's like, all right. I don't see anything. I was like, no, let me just Google my name, see what happens. And sure enough, it pops up. Been traded 3 for 2.
That's how you found out you got traded?
Yeah, I was literally about to play in the game.
Oh,
So I'm like, I don't. I'm playing outfield at the time over there in Venezuela, and I'm like, dang, like with Texas Rangers. And then the next day, a Ranger scout comes up to me. It's like, hey, on behalf of Texas Rangers, want to welcome to the family, this and this. And I was just like, all right, cool, cool. And sure enough, finally, I get like one of my voicemails come in because I don't have
finally.
service. I don't have service or anything like that. And I think I FaceTime audioed Depoto at the time when he
FaceTime
came.
audio.
'Cause
Wow.
because WhatsApp wasn't working. Everything was just down. So it's just like, man. And then finally, I got back into the States. I saw all the messages and stuff like that. So
I love it.
it,
Dude,
it
that's
was
crazy.
it was
That is
wild.
absolutely crazy right there, bro. So, um, 2016, you were obviously playing. You're grinding with the Rangers, man. Dude, you start transitioning kind of in the maybe the back of that season into
Yeah.
pitching. Dude, what was that like, and whose idea was that? Who brought it about to you, dude? And were you kind of hesitant to do it? Were you all in on it? Was it your idea? Can you walk me through that a little bit?
It was my idea, man. I
Really?
was hesitant. Yeah. To backtrack in high with the Mariners, I was asked to transition. And I said no. I was like, it's the California League. Wind is blowing out.
That's right. That's right.
I was asked again sometime, maybe like 2 years later. Maybe I was in AA. They were hinting at it. I always just kept saying no. And 2016, man, I switched up a lot mechanics wise. Like I started trying to hit for more power. They're like, man, do with your frame. There's no reason why you shouldn't have X amount of home
Yep.
runs. And of course, using your legs. So felt great in spring training. Season comes on. I'm hot for the first few games, and then I just lose all feel. Like it's just gone. It's gone. It's robotic. I was very frustrated. Very
Okay.
frustrated with what's going on. Started talking to my manager about thinking about pitching. He's like, really? He's like, you really want to do that? And I was just like, man, I'm not in a good spot right now, like where I'm at mentally in the game. And I was just like, I saw it as a reset button. He's like, well, if you're serious about it, I'll talk to the pitching coordinator, Danny Clark at the time, and we'll see. And I was just like, in the back of my mind, like, oh, it's just gonna be a bruise. Like, I threw hard at my last year in
That's
junior
right.
year. I'm gonna get on the mound, light the gun up. Yo, we're out there in Memphis. He's like, cut some loose. It's like 87. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm confused, man, because I'm letting it go. I'm trying to make it look like I'm throwing easy, but it's full intent inside.
87, dude. Oh
So
my
I'm like,
goodness.
And he's just like, all right. He's like, hey, don't worry about it, man. Like he said, you got to build your arm up. Like it was no problem for him. He was just looking
Really?
at how it was moving. He was just like, just want to see the bullpen, just want to see how you move. He's like, hey man, like finish out the first half, position player. You go to AZ to build up, and we'll go from there. And like the plan was to be like every level for like 15 days. Man, I didn't even make it out the second half of it, man. I already blew my elbow out.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
so what? Okay, man, that's tough. That's tough. So that's the Tommy John that you were alluding to, bro. So
Yeah.
when you are transitioning, like before that, so you're gonna go to AZ and start like building back up and focusing in on that. You said, man, you get on the mound, you throw 87. They just wanted to check you out. How do you build up to try to like get to game ready, dude? Is that long toss? Would you recommend long tossing? And how did you blow out? How would you maybe prevent that?
Man, to be honest, I mean, Keith Meister is my surgeon. I felt something during the bullpen, but didn't think anything of it. It was like a little tug, nothing crazy. And I was like, that felt weird. But it, just kept on. But I realized day after day, I just didn't recover. Like it got to the point where I didn't want to throw off speed. And I was like, I don't know about this. And when he went in, and fixed everything up, he asked me, he's like, hey man, did you have elbow problems in college? And I was like, yeah, my elbow used to hurt a lot in college. He was like, yeah, because he's like the injury that I saw, like going in, he's like, it wasn't fresh. He said there was a lot of scar tissue. And he's like, I think you just finally completed it, kind of thing. And I was just like, oh, so that's why my elbow was hurting in college.
Oh my gosh, dude, throwing mid-9s with a just probably partially torn or just damaged UCL, bro. Just let it eat.
Just put ice on it, which is
ice and stim, dude.
With ice and stim, which is like counterintuitive. Once I get into pro ball, it's like, yeah, man, ice just slows up the healing process. I'm like, wait, what?
What? Oh my gosh, bro. So you obviously yeah, man. Okay, so you get Tommy John surgery. What is the surgery like? What's the recovery process like? And what's the process to get back on the field, dude? I'm sure like it's a physical grind as much as it is a mental grind. One thing, bro. You're an athlete. You're a top tier athlete. You're a Major League Baseball player, and now you're building back up. And like you've known baseball your whole life, bro. And now it's like you can't play it, man. What is that whole process like trying to get back on the field?
Man, it was tedious. I didn't realize like how monotonous it was going to be, especially the first part, like say like the first 3 months, because you're still in your brace. Dude, it was one thing I was confused about was that you get knocked out, you wake up with the brace, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go home. And they're like, no, you're going to rehab right now. Like right out of surgery, I went straight into the athletic training room, and I'm like, so what are we doing now? And it's like, yeah, we're just gonna do some wrist exercises, move it around. I was like, right now. And it's like, oh yeah,
with incisions and everything.
Right now.
Did they get in your wrist and take it? Yeah.
Yep, they took it. And man, like the first 3 months, it's just like we laugh because it's like you become friends with the wall because there's a lot of ISOs on the wall, pushing against the wall, pushing in, external rotation, and literally like your rehab is probably done in like an hour. And rehab start like at 7. So it's 8, and they're like, all right.
Whole day's yours. You're an AZ, you're from New York, and like you have nobody out here, but dude, you're done. It's 8:00 in the morning. Have at it. Have a good day. Like, whoa, what am I supposed to do?
So it was just, man, it's very monotonous. I mean, all the different phases, it goes from can't wait till I get the brace off to I can't wait till I touch my shoulder again to like, oh, I can't wait till I get my first throw. And it's, man, like, if I had to go back, I'll be more present because I was always on to the next. Like, once I hit that milestone, it's like, I can't wait till I start throwing off the mound. And it was just like, I never really, to be honest, was in the moment and like, hey, this is where I'm at. Take it all in. But it was always thinking about the next.
Dude, that's something that, like, right now I have a 9-month-old daughter, and I'm trying to be an absolute savage with the podcast game in my business life, right? Starting a business, and I'm just trying to, like, I wake up at 5 a.m. to try to grind through some stuff, but like I trying to be present and just trying to be like where my feet are, right? The
Yeah.
Mariners instilled the embrace your grass, right? It's just be where you're at. That's something that even now I'm looking back at my career and it's like my 2 for 4 games or my 0 for 4 games, like you're automatically thinking about tomorrow. What do I need to do? It's like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
you're never truly in the moment, right? You're in the outfield. You're in at the time Safeco Field, right? It's T-Mobile now. So you're
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I'm playing in front of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 fans. And I just, I got 2 bags today, 2 stolen bases, 2 hits. But you're already thinking about the next AB. Maybe you don't even have time to think about like where you're at. Dude, like
Yeah,
that's incredible, man. Especially with the rehab process, bro. What?
for sure. For sure.
Oof. So, dude, you get back. Man, again, I'm here with James Jones. JJ, I'm insanely grateful for your time, bro. A couple more questions I got for you, man. I
Gotcha.
thank you for all this, dude. Um, so, dude, you get back 2018 and on, right? You get back on the mound, you get acclimated, dude. You're finding success, putting up solid, dude, solid years, like
Yeah.
and above average years on the mound, dude. What changed? So, what changed from like trying to find it and then going through that grind of like rehab, building it all back up? You get back on the mound and you're putting up solid years, above average years, and you're finding success, bro. What changed? Was it a mechanical thing? Was it maybe a physical thing? Was it a mental thing, dude? Walk me through that.
Man, to be honest, like what I alluded to earlier, when you surround yourself with people that are just really good at their craft, it elevates you. And I remember my wife is from California. We was just like, we're gonna spend our off season there, but I have nowhere to train. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I asked one of my teammates, and he just said, hey man, if you're gonna be in Southern California, go check out BIMO Elite Athletics. I was like, BIMO? You talking about Joe BIMO? And I was like, yeah, I played with him. He's just like, oh, he has a spot down there in Southern California. It's in Redondo Beach. No, not Redondo Beach. El Segundo.
Okay.
It's in that area. And he's just like, yo, just try it out. It's kind of like Driveline, but he puts his own little taste to it. And I was just like, man, I played with Joe, and he was just a solid dude. He took care of business. There's a reason why he has 10 plus years in the big leagues.
No kidding. No kidding.
And I went out there, reached out to him. He said, yeah, man, come through. He said, I'd like to see you throw a bullpen just to see you. And man, like, I remember the first bullpen, he was just like, dude, you move terrible.
I love that, bro. Give it to you straight.
He's blunt. He's straight blunt. He's just like, but he's like, I'm gonna get you right up. Like,
I love that, bro.
And I picked his brain all off season. Got me strong. Got me moving well. Big on recovery. Big on recovery.
Really?
I mean, he had everything there. He had, like, the Normatex and so forth. But even like, you see him, he's crushing water. He's eating these good food. He's eating good nutrition, and he's at the time, this is before he came back to go to San Diego again. He was retired, but he's like, man, he's still throwing. He's stronger than everyone in here. He moves better than everyone in here. And I'm like, and the IQ is there. So I'm like, dang, man, just getting as much info from him, the mindset, literally that next year was my best year pitching.
I love that. I love
that. That whole system that he has going on over there is it's really by Malik. So.
I love it, dude. I've seen some of his videos, dude, back in the day. Haven't checked this stuff out recently, but just he's huge, tatted, throwing hard from the left. Like, dude, I love it. Obviously, knew who he was. That's big time. You surround yourself with people that may be better than you or have more experience than you. You have no choice but to kind of elevate who you are and what you can do to kind of fit your surroundings, right? You always hear this stuff like, you are who you hang out with the most. So
Yeah.
if you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around the most, right? You surround
Yeah.
yourself with people that are like-minded, man. You'll kind of mesh with them. I love that, dude. So you've been around baseball for a long time. You've experienced the big leagues in the outfield, right? You've experienced almost every single level. Pitching, dude. Which one? Let's settle this debate here. So this is somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, brother. Which one is tougher to do? Like at any level. Like if you want to do it you've done it at the Division 1 level. You've done both at pretty much every minor league level, bro. Which one is harder to do and why?
All right, so it's just based on how I'm wired. Everyone's wired differently now. I felt like I handled the pitching schedule a lot better than as a position player. Mainly because like my strengths as a position player is my legs. You know, I run into some here and there. Like I'm not a big homer guy. So if my legs ain't fresh, it's kind of like, I mean, I know you get the feeling when the third base coach is looking at you still on first base and he's like, yo,
What's wrong?
why are you not going? Man, my legs is tired, bro. But I would say learning to acclimate to the pitcher side, I was able to recover more, a lot better. I could prepare a lot better, especially with me. I'm diving all over the place. I'm not scared to run into a wall. Like
Takes a toll on your body, bro.
Yeah, it takes a toll, man. And it was just one of those points where, man, like I get why I went down that rabbit hole of trying to hit for more power, because I was like, man, I just want to try to run the bases, man.
100%, bro. 100%. I love it. Dude, being a speed guy's tough. You got to bring the energy. You got to bring the noise every single day. And if you struggle with the bat, you're supposed to be able to make up for it in other ways and be able to do stuff on the field that other people can't do. So I get it. Obviously, I don't get the pitching aspect of it. That's absurd being able to do both at a high level. JJ, again, appreciative of your time. I got 3 more questions for you, dude. Thank you for spending time with us here at the 9 Hole Podcast, dude. So, man, tips for the next generation, dude. So pitchers specifically that are coming up, rising through the ranks, man. Would you recommend long toss, utilizing long toss, maybe like stretching it out as a way to increase arm strength, increase, what you're able to do on the mound? Maybe, does that help build the velo up? Is that something that you would recommend to the next generation if they're not already incorporating that into their routine and kind of daily schedule?
I wouldn't say like necessarily it's a long toss. I would just say the biggest thing is body awareness, being able to move well. Because if you don't have access to different ranges, you won't have access to the velo you're searching for. Some of the stuff I've been messing around with, like, it's a trend now, especially with pitching. A lot of people's doing kind of like javelin type workouts.
I've seen that.
So I've been doing like mobility ability, and it's pretty much being able to, get a little spinal flow, being able to hit different points in movement. So when you go throw a baseball, you can actually hit those, because I've seen a guy that could bench 315 throw 100, and I've seen a guy that can't do 10 push-ups throw 100. So it's not the strength kind of thing. I'm like, which one is it? Because I've seen really strong guys and really weak guys in the weight room that throw absolute noise.
It doesn't translate.
And the biggest thing is they know how to move well within what their body could do. Because you got so many different body types. So it's just, I'm saying, gaining access, as much access that you can with your body, and man, just variations. I think being athletic while you're throwing is a big thing. Like, I feel like doing mound work is key, and flat grounds, it's like we throw on a mound. So if you want to get your feels, go on a mound. Like, rather than throwing flat grounds all the time, and then you wait until you get in the game, it's like, this feels weird.
100%, dude. 100%. I love that. How about dude, were you kind of did you utilize the flat grounds a lot? Obviously, you see the drive line and stuff. Like, were you able to implement that at all? I know, you
Yeah,
just touched on the javelin type stuff, but the drive line's a wave now, bro.
yeah. I've dabbled with all of it. The biggest thing I saw was more of a kind of crafting your routine and seeing what works for you, which throws actually gets you locked in because not everything it's not cookie cut. You try to do everything that you see, and if you don't have the right person teaching you why, like understanding the purpose of those throws.
Mm.
And if that's not like a weakness of yours, it's like, hey, go to the things that's going to strengthen your strengths, and of course, it's going to elevate your weakness. But man, I've tried all the drive line, and I mean, going to the Dodgers org for that 1 year last year, it was unreal. How they thought about movement, how they had their strength and conditioning was like one with the athletic training, and man, they did a ton of mound work, and it broke my myth because it was just like I don't want to throw off the mound too much because I'm gonna be tired. Like it's just like no, even if it's slow, even if it's 50% effort, like make the mound your home. And I was like, okay.
That's fantastic, bro. That is fantastic. Okay. I got two more for you. Again, man, so grateful for you being here, telling the story, dude. Blessing the next generation with your story and kind of having everybody be able to relate to some part of kind of what you went through, dude. It's awesome to hear somebody that's done it and achieved things like you touch on and talk about, dude. So, in your journey, bro, where has been the coolest place to play in the big league? So, wherever you're playing at home, is great, special, dude. Obviously, the big league, there's no bad place in the big leagues, man. But for you, like, where has been the coolest place to play, either at home or on the road?
Man, I wasn't fortunate enough to like get to see every ballpark, but man, I really like Safeco, man. Well, T-Mobile Park,
Yeah.
mainly, especially when the summer hit, man. The weather was perfect. Um, Even if it started raining a little bit, I did like when they closed the roof because you could hear the crowd more. You could hear the fans, and then of course you could track. It's the dark roof, so you could be able to track that ball a lot better, as
Oh,
opposed to like I remember playing in Tampa, and
oh, the white roof. Good luck, brother.
yo, it's tough, man. I had to go out there early to get used to get used to this. Like, hey, you played in Tampa before? I was like, no. It's like, yeah, you got early work. You got to get used to this.
Get out of here, bro. Dude, I remember I debuted in Fenway.
Uh-huh.
So that's like I was shaking out in Fenway. The Green Monster, dude. I had early work for like 2 hours before I got out there. I didn't even have to utilize like getting out there. I played center field, didn't even have to do anything. But they're like, yo, you have to get acclimated to every field that we're at. Like every field
Yeah.
plays different. Every field has like little quirks and differences, man. That it's you might not be used to it. How about minor leagues, dude? Was there a spot that stood out to you throughout the whole minor league journey that it was like, bro, that's a spot that I would definitely recommend checking out or trying to play at?
Dude, there's two. There's two. The first time I played at Dayton, because that was the first time we got like
The
a big
Dragons?
crowd. It was like the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere at Dayton. Um, but Frisco, man,
Oh,
Frisco was dope, man. I loved it. I forgot what day it was. I think it was Fridays where they had a DJ in the outfield.
what?
So like, yeah, there was a DJ in the grass, and you could hear the music.
No way.
Literally felt like he was just at a party the whole game.
Dude, did they have so I played so Dayton is low A, right? Midwest
Yeah,
League.
yeah,
So, dude, that is like you go there and some of those stadiums, Dayton, I think there's another Cedar Rapids, just like there's some stadiums where it's like that's the first taste of pro ball, dude. So that's big.
yeah.
Frisco, I think there's like a Ferris wheel somewhere out there. It's like an amusement park, dude. It's incredible.
Hmm.
That's amazing, dude. So last question I got for you, brother. This is the Nine Hole Podcast, right? Talking to the next generation of nine hole hitters, dude. When you think of a nine hole hitter, man, what kind of qualities or traits or characteristics makes up a good nine hole hitter, dude, in your mind?
Man, the one I see it as someone that could they turn it right back over to the top of that lineup. Someone that they don't they're not trying to do too much. They know who they are. Um, it's weird because I see it like with track, as the anchor leg. I see them as the anchor because man, if you got a 9-hole guy that could just bring it right back up to 1, 2, and 3, that's a hard lineup, man.
Yeah,
Man,
dangerous.
especially me pitching. If you got a 9-hole guy and you're I gotta take care of this dude because you got 1, 2, and 3 ready to lock and load on you. So it's a key feature to a lineup. It's very overlooked.
I love that, bro. I love that, bro. That's the reason. That's the reason I wanted to ask you it, dude. That's the reason for the 9-hole podcast, right? Trying to talk to the next generation, just overlooked dudes. Let them know that, man, you don't have to have the first round, full ride SEC story to kind of make it where you're going, dude. So, JJ, I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you for letting me run you through the gauntlet, running through all this stuff, talking about your story, man. I am so grateful for your time, so grateful for your story. It's something that I've looked up to, continue to look up to it, brother. It is an honor to have you on here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. Obviously, we touched on it a little bit before we hit record. You aren't with a team right now, but you are staying ready, kind of figuring out what's next. The game is changing a little bit, so it makes it a little bit harder to kind of, catch on somewhere, dude. But going to be thinking of you, man. Going to be looking forward to, the continued success, dude. And man, again, just so grateful for your time, James. Thank you, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you for your time. We will catch you back on here next week. Take care, guys.